Do you have very weak feet? That's why your ankle, knee, hip, or lumbar area hurts? And it's that the feet are one of the most forgotten areas in the strengthening of our body. And they are one of the key pieces to improve not only the pain in the entire lower area of the body, but also to prevent falls. Especially in those people who are over 60, 70 years old and start to see how their balance is not the same as before. So for the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'm going to accompany you with a small program in which we are going to strengthen all that musculature of the calf and foot so that you can have a better connection with the ground. A stronger foot, a less painful knee, a more capable hip, an ankle with less pain, and a lumbar area also with less discomfort. Because there are very important relationships between the strength of the foot and the pain in the lumbar area. So, if you've tried everything already, I think you should join me today and accompany me for the rest of the class. To perform this routine, we are going to need different materials, a simple towel like this, a weight that can be a bag of rice, anything you have at home that weighs will be enough. And finally, a rubber band. This is going to be a little harder to find, but it's true that we don't need it for the entire routine. The first part of the routine is going to focus on the intrinsic musculature of the foot, and we're not going to need anything more than the towel. The second part is going to be more dedicated to the calf, and there we will need this elastic and the weight. Very well, before we start, I want to remind you that every Sunday I send all the videos I post during the week to my newsletter. If you want to be part of it, you just have to click there at the top right of the screen to access the website, leave your email, and sign up. Every Sunday religiously I send that email. This provides access to my most recent videos and my library of over 1,000 videos. And also the opportunity to get into my programs in advance. Programs that I usually launch throughout the year and that have helped over 4,000 people. First exercise. We're going to lay this towel on the floor and we're going to place our foot on it. It's extremely simple and doesn't have any kind of difficulty. What I want you to do with your fingers is to pick up that towel, and we're going to do 5 towel pickups, relax, and then stretch again. Pay close attention. I want you to pull it towards you as much as possible. Hold for a few seconds, relax, then pull that towel towards you again. 1, 2, 3, relax, we pull towards you again. 1, 2, 3, relax, we pull again. 1, 2, 3, relax. Last repetition, we pull and hold 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you've done 5, we count 1 repetition, we fully stretch the towel and start again. We're going to do between 3 and 5 repetitions of each exercise so it doesn't get too long, and you can also join me at home. 1, 2, 3, relax. I move forward a little, I strongly contract those toes. 2, 3, relax. We have 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. I contract, I collect. Last repetition, let's go again. 1, 2, 3. See what a beautiful arch. Plantar, very good muscle contraction. We extend again. We are going to do the third and last. I support my foot. I pick up 1, 2, 3. I pick up 1, 2, 3. I pick up 1, 2, 3. We have 2 last ones left. I pick up and last repetition. I pick up and hold. Very good. If you've done it right, you'll start to notice some muscle activity and contraction throughout that plantar arch. Next, I want you to lay out the towel again because what we're going to do is pick it up and lift it. Working in unison like this, the muscles of the foot and the elevation of the leg. Pay close attention. What I want this time is for you to pick up that towel and then lift that foot off the ground, and that the towel does not detach from your fingers. We hold it there. 3, 4, 5, relax. I go back to support. You don't need to fully extend the towel. I pick up that towel. 3, 4, 5, relax. I go back to pick up that towel to lift 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, relax. Using a towel is a simpler and more affordable method, although it can also be done with a pencil or other objects. If you want to work with a little more intensity, you can use different objects. 4, 5, 4, last repetition. I pick up and lift 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. We'll put the towel aside for now and focus on the plantar arch. Pay close attention. Our plantar arch is made up of 2 supports. One that is practically here at the base of the big toe and another that is exactly here at the heel level. What we want is to do a muscle activation, an active contraction, where we try to bring these 2 points as close as possible to contract all this musculature. Although it's hard to see on screen, I want you to attempt the contraction and bring those 2 points closer together to engage the muscles. Notice how I'm relaxed, and now I'm contracting. You can see it, right? That arch of the foot arches more, a certain contraction appears. Notice here, more muscle is noticeable. I hold for 5 little seconds and relax, and the foot seems to sink down. It's hard for you to see it a lot, okay? So don't worry. You have to guide yourself by your feelings. Let's go again. 1, 2, notice, 3, 4, and 5, and I relax. What's the difference between contraction and relaxation? Let's go again. Awareness, work that arch, plant. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I relax. You've seen how it sinks down, right? Shall we do 2 more? And if it's too hard for you, what you can basically do is grab that finger here and contract. You're going to notice how that arch of your fingers slightly peels off and you feel a greater muscle contraction. It's a good trick if you barely notice movement or contraction in the area, a good way to know that you're doing it right. Let's go again, I contract. Notice here how we see it, that beautiful shadow. 3, 4, 5, and I relax. Last repetitions. Remember, I try to bring this here. I contract. 3, 4, 5. Let's do 1 more, because it's a very, very good exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I relax. Wow, great exercise, right? Very good feelings. Next, we're going to place that towel back under our foot. And now I want you to take your time, because what we're going to do is insert it between your toes. Look, I pull from here and insert a little bit of towel between my toes. I pull from here and insert a little bit between the third one. And the second I pull from here and also insert a little bit in the following ones, and so on. Okay? Take your time and place everything correctly, so that in the end you have a structure like this. Let me position myself in front of the camera. There we are. Look, I have a small piece of towel between each of my fingers, even if it's tiny, okay? It's a simple exercise. We won't see big movements. This time I want you to crush that towel, okay? As if you wanted to wring it out between your fingers as much as possible. That's going to work certain muscles that we call lumbrical, like weight, and that is located between each of our goals at the foot level. Very important for the stabilization of our foot. The front part especially. Let's get to it. Pay close attention. I'm going to relax my fingers completely, and now I contract 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I relax and contract 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What I try is to contract, close those fingers together. I relax. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I relax. I'm going to do 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I relax. Last repetition. We close very strong. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I relax. Very good. I'm sure you're already noticing stronger contractions at the foot level, some muscle fatigue that you've probably never noticed before in your life. Basically because you've never worked your feet in any way. We remove the towel, we put it back to one side. That's it. And now we're going to work the opposite movement. If before we worked the closing of fingers, now what we're going to do is work on the opening of fingers. And for that, again, we become aware, we concentrate, we place the foot well supported on the ground, and I want you to try to separate all the fingers to the maximum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. It's not easy. You won't get perfect separation like with your fingers, but you have to try. You have to think about the separation of the fingers and reproduce that movement with your feet. Let's go again. Separate my fingers as much as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm separating them on the right side too. It's challenging to dissociate one side from the other. Let's go left and separate as much as possible again. 1, 2, 3, that's it. 4 and 5 without lifting the heel off the ground. There I made a little cheat. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Last repetition. Let's go again. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and relax. Very good. We have done 5 repetitions of each of the exercises, all very powerful to strengthen the intrinsic muscles of the foot. Now we are going to go a little bit further and we are going to work longer and more powerful muscles. Starting with the big toe muscles, which are of extreme importance for maintaining that plantar arch we have talked so much about. And for that we are going to need our beloved elastic band. We are going to place this band under the first toe in such a way that we can wrap it around, as you can see here on the screen. I'm wrapping it around on one side and the other. I wrap it and I'm going to move a little bit to place that leg completely stretched out. I want it to be very, very stretched so that the elastic band, as you can see here, remains with some tension. From here, we are going to do a controlled flexion of our big toe. Pay close attention. I want to push down that big toe as much as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. We will also perform the plantar flexion, which is a complete flexion like this. The finger goes down and at the same time we bring that foot down. What it's going to do is generate a huge muscular tension, a very important muscular work, at the level of the sole of the foot. Relax. That toe comes towards me and then strong, 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 strong. I push both with the big toe and with the foot, and your arms are going to provide the tension of the exercise. The more we pull, the harder the exercise. The less we pull, the easier it is. Let's go with the third relax. I push hard, 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 hard down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Let's count second. Okay, so that we can do it this way. 5 together. I push. 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3. I push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. I push 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1 for free. Let's go for it. I push 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I relax. Very good sensations at the level of the sole of the foot. Next, we'll do an exercise for the peroneal muscles. You might wonder what this is about. Muscles that are located all along the side of your ankle and are essential for maintaining its stability. If we bring the anatomical model here, I'm going to show you again. These are muscles that are located on the side. Look, this is the outside, okay, or the external. These are muscles that are located laterally and go up almost to the knee. Very, very important for ankle stability, very good for working them out. We're going to face forward, introduce that elastic under the foot. I lean on it and then I want to step on it with the opposite foot. Pay close attention. I support my foot on top to give it some tension. If there's no tension here, especially here, the exercise is not going to be difficult. However, if I give it tension and support, as you see, here we have guitar strings, and the exercise is going to be much more effective. What we want, as I've said, is to contract that lateral musculature. So what we're going to look for is a lifting off the ground movement. And then, eversion, pay close attention, this eversion is the most important point. I want the little toe to rise up as if it were an arch. The little toe to rise up as if it were an arch. I'm going to move a little bit more over here so that you can work that lateral muscle. Where should we feel it? Here, especially on the side of your leg, as I've shown you with the model. So muscle tension, I lift my foot a little bit and then notice how I bring it up. Touch here on this side and feel some muscle contraction, right? I relax and the muscle contraction disappears. There's no better sign that you're doing it correctly. I lift my foot and then notice I take that foot outwards. That little toe goes up as if I wanted to take it through here, through here, through here. I maintain the contraction 3, 4, 5 and I relax. Pay close attention. My knee doesn't move. I don't do this. My knee is fixed. The movement occurs at the foot level. I separate an eversion 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're going to do 2 last ones. I relax. Again, I separate and pull 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Very effective. One more, which is an exercise that I like a lot and is essential for all people who are older or who work with their feet, who run, who play sports. 3, 4 and 5. Here I relax very well. Great muscle work of that peroneal musculature. Now we are going to move on to the inverters, which are muscles that are located more at the level of the posterior calf, and what they do is work the foot in the opposite movement. A little bit harder to teach from this plane. For that, we're going to position ourselves like this. We are going to use the elastic band around the foot at the level of the pads and the opposite side, opposite end. We are going to put it underneath, pulling with your hands until we generate some tension again. Here we have it. I pull with my hand, I pull with my hand, I pull with my hand, and here I have, as you can see, guitar strings. The exercise is ready. We're looking for the opposite movement. If before we were bringing the pinky finger down in an arc, now we bring the thumb up in an arc. Notice well relaxed and here contracted. The investors are much stronger, so in this exercise you can push harder, you can pull more on that elastic to make the exercise more difficult. We relax and count 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax very, very good. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Posterior musculature, especially one called posterior tibial. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. We have 3 or 2 left. I don't know. 2, 3. You know that counting, it's very strong. Relax. We're gonna do 2 more. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last repetition. Up 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very well. Great job at the level of investors. I removed this elastic that has been of great help to us. We say goodbye to him and leave him aside, and we move on to work. The last exercise, which is the most dorsal part of the foot, especially the anterior tibial, which is a muscle that is located in our anterior part of the foot, and that has an extremely strong tendon. We're going to stand up. We're going to pick up the weight that we left here on the floor earlier. Place your foot on the stool in such a way that you have about half your foot in and half your foot out. And we're going to place that weight on the front part, over the toes. If it falls off, obviously you can tie it with a tape or a belt, whatever you want. Here, as we are very close to the foot, what I'm going to do is keep my hand on the weight. Support the opposite elbow on the knee backwards and leave my hand on the weight so it doesn't fall. What I want is to let that foot drop down as much as possible and then raise it strongly to work this tendon, which is the anterior tibial one. In fact, you're going to feel it very strongly here in this exact place, like a very, very tight rope. Let me show you from the front. There it is. And this is the best way to know that you're working it well, relaxed, contracted. Look here how it looks. The anterior tibial can vary a lot in volume and size depending on your genetics. I'll move my foot slightly closer to the edge. That's why we're going to. I let my foot fall down and then I lift it strongly. I keep my little finger there so that the weight doesn't move too much. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax, let fall. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We go down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. I've done multiple repetitions, possibly 4 or 5 in total. This is the last repetition. And up 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. Incredible, short, quick, and effective program to work your feet. We have only done 5 repetitions of each exercise to not make it too long. I suggest increasing to 10 or 15 if you have higher capabilities. You can work on it on alternate days, and I invite you to keep it in your life and to work both sides, obviously, because foot strength is extremely important. I invite you to try it. If you have pain somewhere in your body, I assure you that pain will improve. Don't forget to share it with the people who need it. We all have older people in the family. We all have people with pain in the family. And I assure you that footwork can be the first brick we lay to build a wall against pain. I hope you liked it, and remember, if you want to receive all my videos, the ones I publish during the week, to have access to my library of over 1,000 videos, and also to have early access to my programs. You can simply click on that first link in the comments or in the video description, where upon accessing, you leave your email and join my newsletter. That's all. I thank you again for making it to the end. I hope to see you again very soon in one of my other videos. Bye, friends.